4th and goal to go with the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Here is Jeff, the host of The Gridiron.
All right, and then finally, 10 things to watch for the Giants versus the Commanders. And also, things to watch for, but, also, is it time to drink the Kool-Aid? Well, we'll see. We shall see here. All right, so Giants need to hit the ground running. It's been 8 months since the Giants last took the field for a regular season game. Following a long offseason in summer, the Giants are ready to finally get the 2025 campaign started. There has been a lot of talk over the last few months about different energy around the team. We saw that lead to positive results during the preseason with Coach Brian Daboll's squad going 3-0, totaling 107 points and finishing with a point differential of plus 60, which is very impressive. While those games won't end up counting toward the team's final record, it shouldn't be overlooked, obviously. Let's see, the all-time series. Sunday's game marks the 187th all-time meeting between the two teams. In regular season, they faced each other 184 times, with the Giants leading the series 107-72 and with 5 times. 9 of the past 11 games between the two have been decided by one possession, including both of last year's matchups, which were both obviously won by the Commanders. Let's see. And they talk about Russell Wilson here. Speaking of Russell Wilson, a longtime NFL veteran is set to make his 200th career regular season start on Sunday, but his first as a member of the Giants. Wilson played in his first 2 preseason games of this season and finished passing 10 out of 14 for 136 yards, including 1 moon ball for completion to Bo Collins. Still can't believe the guy got tackled from behind, but for an 80-yard gain. While that was the only one he threw in the preseason, Wilson's famous deep ball made appearances during training camp on a nearly daily basis. And I'll tell you what, it looks pretty good. Wilson played in 11 games for the Steelers last season and led Pittsburgh to a 6-5 record. The veteran completed 63.7% of his passes for 2,482 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions, which earned him a passer rating of 95.6. He also added 43 carries for 155 yards and 2 additional touchdowns. Now, to be fair, I mean, my son and I last year we went to Pittsburgh. My son's a Dallas fan, so we went to Pittsburgh to see the Cowboys play the Steelers. Wound up being a very, very good game. But I'll tell you, I mean, there was like nobody on the Steelers squad last year, on the offensive squad that scared me. There was nobody. So for him not have maybe super duper spectacular numbers, or they were 6-5. Their offense was just nothing impressive at all to me. Not their offense. The left tackle. The Giants entered the season relatively healthy with only left tackle Andrew Thomas listed on the injury report. Thomas has been working his way back from last season's foot injury. After it started training camp on the physically unable to perform list, the left guard passed his physical on August 19th and returned to practice. Since then, the Giants have been smart with their top lineman, whom Daboll said is improving each day. Thomas was limited in practice on Wednesday before having a scheduled day off on Thursday, and he returned to practice on a limited participation basis on Friday, and his schedule is doubtful for Sunday's game. So it's going to be interesting to see. Probably have Hudson in there for him, right? Be interesting to see if Bo winds up getting any time in there, any type of like jumbo package. If there's any type of like a jumbo pack, if they put 6 guys, is it going to be Manhurts in there? They're going to put Neal in there. They're going to put Bo in there. Going to be interesting to see. Time to unleash the pass rush. Yes. Seems to have been forgotten that for the Giants have one of the NFL's top pass rushes for a portion of the 2024 campaign. I mean, for a while there, they had like 35 sacks after like 7 games, right? Before it wasn't even halfway through the season. I don't think it was. Right around a half, and they were number 1 in the NFL. The last half of the season, they fell off big time. They only had 10, 12 sacks the last half of the season or whatever it was. But for a while there, they were number one. For several weeks, the defense was on pace to break the NFL single-season sack record. Fortunately, the unit then dealt with numerous injuries. Well, Kayvon missed, 4 or 5 games. Dexter might have missed in the last, 4 or 5 games of the season. Burnsy was banged up the whole season long. Hey, check this out. Azeez Ojulari had injuries too. Shocking. I think, and the Eagles signed him, and I don't even think he was even active for the game on Thursday. He probably had some type of injuries. But nonetheless, the Giants had 45 sacks, were tied for 8th most in the league at the end of the season. So the big three of Lawrence, Kayvon, and Brian Burns have all returned and are entering week 1 healthy and ready to roll. The biggest change to pass rushes, of course, is Abdul Carter. Number 3 overall pick was college football's top defensive player last season with 24 tackles for loss, which led the nation to go with 12 sacks. In his first preseason game, Carter recorded 3 pressures on 3 pass rushing snaps, including 2 against 4-time Pro Bowler Deontay Dawkins. I'm dying to say that on there. But they got to be careful, because Daniels can pull the ball down and just take off. So you're gonna rush. You got to rush and keep your lanes. You just can't just start going all hog wild crazy and everything, because if you just start running past him and he sees open field in front of him, he's going to tuck the ball down and take off. So they say players to watch. They talk about Tyrone Tracy here. In his one start against the Commanders last season, Tracy carried the ball 16 times for 66 yards, 4.1 yard average. But Washington's struggles against the run last year were a lot deeper than that. The Commanders ranked 30th in the NFL in both rushing yards allowed per game, 137.5, and yards per carry at 4.8, while their 18 rushing touchdown surrenders was tied for 18th. They did make some changes up front, however, bringing in Javon Kinlaw and Von Miller, while parting ways with veteran Jonathan Allen. And they talk about matchups to watch. Be interested to look at Neighbors and Marshawn Lattimore. Fresh off his historic rookie campaign that saw him break the franchise reception record, Malik Neighbors will face a tough matchup in the season opener. The second-year receiver will likely see a lot of cornerback Marshawn Lattimore in coverage. This will be the first matchup between the two, as the veteran was traded to Washington after the first 2 meetings between the division rivals last year. Lattimore played just 9 games last year and allowed 13 receptions for 151 yards and a touchdown, passer rating of 87.3, according to Pro Football Focus. Neighbors scored a total of 19 passes for 186 yards and a touchdown in his 2 outings against the Commanders as a rookie. But Lattimore represents a more difficult matchup than what the young wideout faced last year. So, going to be interesting to see, though. I mean, does Lattimore follow Malik Neighbors? Is Lattimore going to be on one side? Going to be interesting to see. Play obviously Commanders to watch. Obviously, Jaden Daniels. He's number 1 on the other team as far as guys to watch. Neighbors' former college quarterback put together an impressive rookie campaign himself, one that ended with the Commanders in the NFC Championship game. Daniels completed 69% of his passes, had 25 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions, a passer rating of 100. He made an even bigger impact on the run game, while the dual-threat quarterback logged 148 rush attempts for 891 yards, good for an average of 6 yards per carry, while adding an additional 6 touchdowns. So he can kill you with his legs and with his arms. So, I mean, it's going to be very, very difficult, to keep him under control. Very, very difficult. So, but it should be a very good game. I mean, the only thing is that, unless there's a couple bad calls go against one team and some freaky turnovers go one way against the team or nothing like that. For the most part, as the games were last year, they should remain relatively close. I don't see where there's any difference where it shouldn't be, as I said, unless something happens, a strip sack for a touchdown or a tip ball up in the air gets picked off and run back for a touchdown. Some freaky kind of things kind of happen. I certainly don't see why this couldn't be once again another one-score game. And I'll go out of the way. Once again, I'll drink the Kool-Aid. Feeling good about the Giants. I say the Giants win this one 24-23. Be really, really close, and the Giants will just pull it out in the end.